Hey guys, welcome back to my ES-3 build series. This is video number 3. In this video we are sanding and staining the body. So here we go. This is the body as it came out of the box. As I said, there weren't any real major issues with it, any blemishes or scratches, dents, any of that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to get right into it here and start off sanding with some 180 grit sandpaper, as you saw there. And basically I'm going to do 3 passes of sanding on this in increasing grit size. So yeah, not much to say about this really. You're just going to go over the whole body, making sure you cover all every area there, and work out any kind of any bumps or nicks or scratches or anything that you might find there. You're going to work out with the 180 here. So this is the roughest sandpaper that I'm going to use for this. As you can see right there where the join was, there was a little bit of excess glue, so I put a little extra attention there to get rid of that. But yeah, the idea of this pass is just to work out anything major. You're just not going to end up with a smooth finish from this pass. And there you go. So back again, and I got the 220 grit sandpaper this time, and I've gone and wiped the whole thing down with a rag, so to get rid of the sawdust. And as you can see here, I've already torn the sandpaper in half. I'm tearing it in half again. So really, all you need for the guitar is a quarter piece of sandpaper. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing. And we're probably going to go ahead and skip all this because you're already seeing it. Same thing as last time. Here you go. All that did was make it a little more smoother from the last time. And now we're down to the 400 grit. So this is the finest grit sandpaper I'm going to use for this. Yeah, so P400. Some people call this wet dry sandpaper. You can use it wet. I'm just going dry here. So this is what's going to give you the smooth finish that you're going to apply the stain to. So I'm going over the whole thing once again here now. Just basically working out any rough areas that were left over from the previous passes. As you can see right here in between the pickups, there's a little bit of a rough area I'm kind of concentrating on. And you can see there I'm wiping away the sawdust as I'm going so I can see the finished edge. So I'm satisfied with that area. I'm going to move on here. You can see I'm not using a sanding block or anything. I'm using my fingers. Just because this guitar is so curvy, there's a lot of nuances there, and just using your fingers gives you better control. Make sure you can get into all the nooks and crannies there, and you're not skipping over anything. And so yeah, just a nice thorough overall finish. Checking it with my hands. Everything seems like it's looking pretty good there at the moment. And I think we're good to proceed. So we're back now. I'm going to start with the back of the guitar doing the stain. I figure if I screw it up, at least it's on the back. So I've gone ahead and taped up the sides, the binding on the side, sorry. So there's not getting any stain on it. And what I've got here is just a little Varathane wood stain. You can get it at any hardware store. I believe the color is Cabernet. And just like doing the headstock, I'm going to bundle up a little piece of rag. And we're just going to wipe it in there. So for the most part here, you're going to keep with the grain. I like to do a little bit of a circular pattern. Just helps me work it around a little better. It's looking like it's going on really thin and orangey here, but that's just because of the lighting. It's just really poor lighting where I'm doing this. But in the next part, when I come back in the daytime, you'll get a better appreciation for the color. It's actually a nice rich burgundy color. So I'm gonna speed it up here, and as you can see, I'm just getting a nice thorough coverage here. This stain. It goes on fairly thick, so I think I end up only doing 2 coats. I think I achieved the color I was looking for, 2 coats. So there you go. That's pretty much it there for that one. So I'm going to let it dry for about 24 hours and come back. A little touch ups there. Okay, actually what you can see here I'm doing is focusing the stain around the edge of the body just to achieve a little bit of a burst effect. Just very, very subtle. And there you go. I'm going to zoom in and try to get a better appreciation of the color. Still looking pretty orangey here, but you'll see in the next bit that it's actually burgundy. There we go. Back, and like I said, I've gone and done a second coat on the back. You get a little glimpse of it there. So I've let that dry for at least 24 hours before handling it, and now I am going to do the sides. So I've gone and taped up the binding on the top and the bottom all the way around. Everything looks good, so I'm going to go ahead there. Same thing, and just wipe it on. You can see it's going on real nice there. I love the color. It turned out exactly what I wanted, which is fantastic. So I'm going to go all around the sides here now, just kind of trying to keep it nice and even. You don't need a whole lot of stain on your rag at once, but if you do end up with extra going on there, you got to make sure you work it in there. You can see there on the heel there's still a little bit of the glue showing through. I didn't stain it quite enough, but it's going to be covered up by the tailpiece anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it. There you go, a little check around and touch up a couple little spots there, but overall looking pretty good for the first coat. So I let that set for 24 hours. Once again, came back, did a second coat on it, and that will bring us to the top. There we go. Make sure I'm not laying it on any stain there. And here we go. So yeah, so this is what I was looking at like after 2 coats. Pretty pleased with everything so far. You can see I've gone and laid a pair of coveralls there on the workbench just as a buffer, so I don't damage the stain or get anything stuck to it before I do the clear coat. So I've gone and taped up the binding here again. As you can see, I did it by tearing off a bunch of little pieces of tape. This took forever and was a major pain in the ass. I don't recommend doing this. You're probably better off just rough taping out the shape and then cutting the excess away with an X-Acto knife. I figured that would take longer, but yeah, there's no way it took longer than what I did here. So you can see there I forgot to shake up the stain before I started applying it, and it came out really thin. There you go, I've closed it up, shaken it, and we're back in business. So yeah, just like the back and the sides, kind of work it in there nice and even. And as you can see, I'm overlapping my coats a little bit, and make sure you don't end up with any kind of definite borders between passes. Nice overall thick coat to start, and then I start concentrating around the edges again, like I said earlier. Starting on the edges and working toward the middle, just to give it that very, very subtle burst effect. Is almost non-existent, but just enough that you can see a little bit of a burst. There we go. So now I'm back. I'm going to do the clear coat. I've got a white bond polyurethane. This stuff's pretty thick. Works the same as the stain though. You just dab it, spread it on. Just make sure you're doing a nice even coat because, like I said, it's thick and it dries thick. So you can see there it's already getting nice and shiny. So basically, I did the top here with this. Let it dry for an hour, and then did a second coat. Let that set for until it was not tacky to the touch. Did the same things with the side and the back. Let it all cure for a week. Sanded it down with 400 grit and did another coat, one more coat. And then I sanded that down with the 400 grit as well, and that will be the end of it. So in the next video, you will see how that turned out after curing for a week. So as you can see, the curing and drying of the stain process takes up a huge amount of time. That whole video there took place over the course of about a week, and then plus another week for the drying of the clear coat. So anyway, we'll see you back in the next video where I'm going to set the neck, and we'll get a look at how that stain turned out.